she shot a dazzling array of colors, what we now know as
the rainbow.
Rainbow, yes indeed. So, like I said, a folk tale is actually a story that tries to explain something in the world, tries to teach a lesson. And there are lots of folk tales that explain how we got a rainbow. But the next time that you see one streaking across the sky, I want you to please remember Mother Nature's gift. And now her two children, the sun and the rainbow, realized it was so much better when they cooperated,
Together.
got along, and worked together.
Woo!
Okay, very good. Now, for this story, I used some very different puppets, yeah? Does anybody know what types of puppets these are?
Suitcase.
Suitcase is a good guess. I did make them out of some suitcases, so they're kind of like that. There's actually something a little different called a shadow puppet. Yeah, so what I did, and why these are called shadow puppets, is the fact that you don't actually see the puppet itself, but you only see its shadow. So I did start using these with some suitcases, found them at the Goodwill, cut a big hole in the front of them, and then I stretched a really thin piece of fabric, kind of like a bed sheet, right across that opening. And then on the back, I made my face. Best part about shadow puppets is that most people don't see this part, so you can use honestly whatever. This is just a little bit of thick cardboard for the eyes and the nose. I've got a little bit of a paint stirrer here for the mouth, and I got this little bungee elastic cord to make it look kind of like he's talking. Then all I need to do is take a light source, kind of like what I have here, shine it on that puppet, and from the front, it looks a little bit like a face. I can even move this around to make it look like he's peering in different directions, or nodding his head, or shaking no. And I can also use these little things, these like thin pieces of clear plastic that are dyed different colors. But if I take this thin piece of plastic and put it right over that light, I can make things a little orange. Or I can make things a little blue, or a little bit of both. And the best part about shadow puppets is that you actually don't need a fancy setup like I have with these suitcases. All you need is a light source and a wall. You take your hand, put it a little bit like this, shine it on there, and now everyone has a little dog. And I do hope that you learned something in this lovely little tale that I've told you. How important it is to cooperate and make sure that no one thinks that they're more important than anybody else. Oof. And now that I've told you those two stories, I am off. See you next summer, y'all.
Where are we going?
What are y'all doing here? I told you my two stories, right? Wait, hold on. I haven't told you my third story, have I?
No.
Oh my goodness, that is on me. It's been such a long week, y'all. Tell you what, for our final story, let's go play someplace special. We're actually going to go all the way to the other side of the world again, to one of the biggest countries in the world with some of the biggest populations that we know. So for this one, we're going to have to go a slightly nautical route. So please make sure that you got your goggles on. Make sure that your life preservers are nice and inflated. Because, folks, we are about to take a boat ride all the way to China. Welcome, my friends, all the way to beautiful China, land of billions of people and just about as many stories.
Yes.
For our final tale today, I bring to you the lovely story, all about being clever, and all about sometimes important things can come in small packages. This is the story of the clever fox and the terrible tiger.
Ooh.
Once upon a time, in the forests of China, there was a clever little fox. Ta-da!
Wow.
And that fox was enjoying a beautiful summer day, basking away in the sun. Bask, 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 bask. And he was doing it with all of his forest friends. Oh, goodness. Oh, I don't see any forest friends at all. I can't tell this story without the forest friends, can I?
No.
All right, sit. Stay. Good fox. Okay. Now, I hate to ask this, my friends, but it looks like a lot of my animals have flown the coop.
Yep.
Do I happen to have 3 volunteers that might come up and help me with my show?
Yes.
Come on. Come on.
Come
Do I have
on.
any other volunteers that might be willing to help me out? I promise. It's not that hard.
Go, go, go. Why do you go? Go.
Right. If
Come
not-
on. Come on.
Actually, my friends, since you're so kind in volunteering, do you want to help me out with all of my parts? Do you want to do it too? Okay, gotcha. Then let me see. Let's split it up.
We
'Cause I
need
have
one
3
more.
parts
We need one more.
in my story. I've got 3 parts in my story.
Come on,
I
boys.
can give someone double duty, no problem.
We need one boy. Come on.
All right. No worries. I don't want to pressure anybody to do something they don't want to. So, Miss, I think you're going to do double duty then. So you're going to have 2 different parts,
Stacy.
and you're going to have 1 part. Is that all right? Awesome. Okay. So, for this play, I'm going to need a couple of these animal friends. So let's make y'all look a little bit more like some animal friends. How about this? Do you like deer by any chance? You're not a big fan of deer? Then how about you? Would you be a deer and put this on your head for me? Wow. Yes, I told you there was costume pieces.
Yeah.
Now, the best thing about this show is that we need to also act the part a little bit too. So, if I know deer, I know that they love to dance and prance through the meadow. Can you dance and prance through the meadow for me? You can even just turn in a circle.
Turn in a circle.
Isn't she graceful, everyone?
Woo!
Fantastic, thank you very much. Now, how about you be then my wolf? Would you like to be a wolf?
You have
All right,
to
can
go.
you put this one on your head?
You have to go.
Okay, so this is our first part for you, which means that you need to know your lines. You know that wolves love to howl at the moon, right? Can you howl at the moon for me?
1, 2, 3.
Very nice. You sound good. All right, now this is going to be the tricky part, because go ahead and take that mask off, because you are also going to be the bear in the story. All right, let me put this hat on. All right. So whenever you don't have a hat to use, you can just put it on the table here. All right, so the cool thing about bears is that they love to eat fish, but they don't hunt for fish like a human does, like casting the line and reeling it in. Now those bears, they claw and paw at the water like this. Can you claw and paw at the water for some fish for me? Very good. She looks pretty hungry, right? All right, so this is going to be a little tricky. This is going to be the first one that you're going to have on, so I'll go ahead and take this for right now. You can please put your wolf hat back on. Now, we've got our actors here. We want to make sure they know how to move. So, my friends, right over here, right in front of my little suitcases over here, this is what we're going to call home base. So, during my show, I'm going to say, the animals ran away home. Whenever y'all hear that, the animals ran away home. You're going to run over here like something's chasing you. Make sure you do it safely. We don't got a lot of room. But only when I say, the animals ran away home. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and get back into the story. Once upon a time, the animals ran away home. Perfect. Wow. Now, let's go ahead and get back into the story proper, because our friend, the clever little fox, that's me, thought it was such a beautiful day that he was going to spend his time going and picking berries for a pie that his mom was going to make later on. Gather, 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 gather. When all of a sudden, and out of nowhere, there appeared a terrible, terrible tiger. Oh, well, what a delicious little morsel for my lunch. Now that fox was scared. That fox was very scared. That fox was very, very scared. But that fox then had an idea. I'm going to outfox that terrible, terrible tiger. Oh, Mr. Tiger, you don't want to eat me. Oh, I very much do. No, I'm too important for you to eat. You important? How could that be? You're so teensy. Well, I am. I don't believe you. Why? I am so important and so feared that all the animals in the forest run away when they see me coming. That gives me an idea. Well, you see, Mr. Tiger, the same thing happens to me. What? Yeah. Every time an animal sees me, they turn tail and run the other direction. I don't believe you. Then how about I show you? And on the fox went, collecting berries for his lunch, followed closely behind by the terrible, terrible tiger. When they came to a meadow with a single deer standing outside it.
Dear.
Now, that deer was having a lovely time dancing and prancing away, or just spinning in a circle. So graceful. Now, the fox waved to his friend the deer, and the deer waved back.
Say hey.
But when behind the fox that deer saw a terrible, terrible tiger, the deer jumped straight up in the air.
Jump.
And ran all the way home. Just like the fox knew she would. Yes. Now, that tiger was suspicious. I am suspicious. How could it be that graceful deer was afraid of this tiny little fox? Go on. And on the fox went, collected berries for his lunch, followed closely behind by the terrible, terrible tiger. When they came to a cave with a single wolf standing outside of it.
Oh.
Now, that wolf was doing as wolves love to do, howling at the moon. Very, very good. Now, the fox waved to his friend the wolf, and the wolf waved back. But when behind the fox that wolf saw a terrible, terrible tiger, the wolf jumped straight up in the air and ran all the way home. Just like the fox knew that she would.
Yes.
Now, the tiger was more suspicious. I am more suspicious. How could it be that ferocious wolf was afraid of this tiny little fox? Go on. And on the fox went, collecting berries for his lunch, followed closely behind, and a terrible, terrible tiger, when finally they came to a stream with a single bear standing beside it. Now, that bear was hungry, so she was clawing and pawing at the water for some fish. Now, the fox waved to his friend the bear, and the bear waved back. But when behind that fox, that bear saw a terrible, terrible tiger, the bear jumped straight up in the air and ran all the way home. Just like the fox knew she would. And with that, the tiger was convinced. Well, are you convinced? I am convinced. I can't believe it, but you truly are as feared and respected as me. I'm so sorry. You say, would you like to come over for lunch? It depends. What are you having? Peanut butter and pickled sandwiches. Ugh. You know what? I've already got plans. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. The fox scurried away, never to be bothered by the tiger again. And then all the forest friends came into the center of the stage, posed for some wildlife photographers.
Woo! Say cheese.
And lived happily ever after. Take a bow, y'all.
Woo!